Hey friends, welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm so glad to have you here. I look forward to sharing and learning about design and tech generally on this channel. We will have review sessions, design battles and challenges, and how to use different software that you might need for your daily activities. We will also learn the basics of getting into different roles in tech, and we will have a few friends come over to join us. So let's get to the agenda of the day. So today we'll be designing a salon app and showing the booking flow using Figma, and at the end we would have a little design challenge. So wait to the end. So here's our brief. I already wrote my brief down. So this is Figma. You can download it online. It's a free app for those that are new to design. So and okay, you can see I filled it with something. So I have like my color palette already selected. Another thing I have is my font sizes that I'll be using. I haven't set all of them, so I'll still set some. Then I have my mood board. So basically that's me researching for my style of design for this brief, and colors and fonts and all of that. So that's what I have in my mood board. So the brief is you have to design a salon mobile app showing the flow to book the service of one of the salons, starting from the home page. So that's the home page of the app down to booking the service of one of the salons on the app. So that means we would have different salons on this app of ours. So let me quickly do something called user flow. So user flow is going to show how the user, that's the person using the mobile app to book, how they are going to move across our app until they perform the activity that we would like them to book the service of one of the salons. So let's start. So that's pretty easy. We'll click on O for circle. Okay, let me click create the heading. So to write a test is just you click on T for test, and then I'll call this user flow. I'll reduce the size a little bit. Come down here to reduce the size. Let me make that. So I'll label this. So I dragging that down. I add on to Alt. I am using the Windows PC, so that's Alt. Okay, start, and then I'll click on I is the eyedropper tool to select our purple, and then reduce the size. Or better still, I'll select that circle that we drew initially, select one of our colors below here, and that's FC. The color code is FC FC944D. I'll change that to white. So let's say it starts or home page. Let me center align the tests. Let me make the size 11. So draw a dotted line. The shortcut for the line is L, or you can go up here and just select line from the drop down, and then I'll hold shift and draw the line using my mouse. Let's make that white also. So I want to make the line dotted. To do that, I'll come here, and once I click on this three dotted icons, I would change the option to dash. So after changing the option to dash, the next thing is to where next is the user going to go. So for me, I've done my research before. I know how I want my flow to be. So So on the home page, I know I want to have several salons listed on the home page, and then the user is going to select one of them. So that means the user will be viewing the page of the app they have selected, the page of the salon they have selected. And then rectangle, R is a shortcut, and you can come up here from the drop down. It's the first thing you select that. So I'm just using this here too. I'm using a rectangle instead of a circle just to differentiate the difference, just to show the different stages. So and then for this, so I duplicated again by holding Alt, and it's at the back. So the way Figma works is that you would have anything, it works in, we have things that are called layers. So I have to explain this because I believe we have people who are not familiar to the software watching. So we have things called layers, and whatever is on the top is what is showing. So we currently can't see the text I duplicated because it's under the rectangle. So to bring that up, I would come to this place and then I'll drag it up above the rectangle. So now we can see it. The shortcut is to hold Control and click on the bracket keys beside P. The first one after P is to bring it down, while the one farther away is to take it up. Assuming we have the layer far below, like you see right now, this is where it is, and our rectangle is here. One way to quickly bring it to the top without having to press that key several times is to press Ctrl Shift and then the bracket that is most far away from P, and then it will come to the top just one time like that. So I'll say salons page, so that's the page of the salon they have selected. Just group these. So I've selected our text by just clicking on it, then I'll hold Shift to click on the rectangle also, then I'll press on Ctrl G to group them, and then I'll select the dotted lines also to and then hold Alt to create a duplicate to the side, so we don't have to keep creating them. So the next action is, okay, so the user has selected a salon and they're on the salons page. The next action is so I know on that page I want them to see pictures of the salon, about them, reviews from people, and then the select a service. So user select a service, so what that means is that the salon is definitely offering different services, probably from haircuts to braids to pedicure and manicure. Maybe they also have a spa, different services. So we can, let me just go in here and break this into two lines. So that's one way we can break that into two lines. The other way is to use this here called fixed size. So we can either use fixed size or fixed height. So with fixed height, I just move it back and then it's done. So the same thing with fixed size. If I click on fixed size, also it does that. The only thing is that the bounding box, that is the blue line around it, is stringed. So I recommend I use fixed height if you want to do that, or you just break it into different lines. So user selects a service, and then next thing is the user selects date and time. So that means the user will select the date and time they are available or they want to go into the salon so that they can book ahead. I forgot to duplicate our line, so quickly I'll shorten our line so that we can have more space. So I just clicked on the line and then I'm dragging back, so can have this like this. So and then I'll bring this back. Yeah, so after that I forgot to select the line again. So user sees available staffs, so that means the user will see the available staffs for the time the user selected that they want to go to the salon. Then so what next? And once that is done, say user, they confirm their bookings, confirm, okay, and select. So they see the available staffs and select. So I might not cover everything in our user journey here, just like to in our user flow here, just to give me an idea of things that will be going on. And then once they select the staff, they are shown like a page to confirm everything. So that is from the services they want, the time and date, and then it also shows the staff they have selected, and then confirm booking. So once I confirm booking, I can say we are done, and let me quickly increase this, and I'll say that is the end. So let me bring this again, and then I'll say the end. So that's the end of our flow. Let me change this color. So just indicate start and stop. I could as well just use green. All of that doesn't matter, depends on you. So that is that. So would start designing. So to start designing, would create a frame. You can come up here to select frame, or you click on F. So frames basically gives you the template of the common phone, laptop, and different device sizes. So we'll be using that of iPhone 13 mini, and let me zoom in. So once you click on it, it gives you this, and then we'll be creating a grid. The grid is going to guide us to know. So if you look at most app on your phone, you'd notice that you have some space from the left and right edge to where the content starts from, the content that is either image or text. So we'll be using the grid to help us with that. So I'll go to layout grid here, click on that, and then select columns, and I want 4 counts, stretch, and then 16, and the gutter should be 8. So the gutter is the space between these four rectangles, that is the columns. So and then we can start. First thing is so since this is iPhone, we know we have the date and time up. There's an iOS kit. Kits are things that just help you speeding up your design. So there's one for Figma. I'll drop the link in the comment section so that you can grab it, and then I'll just go into that to pick the date and time thing instead of creating. So I click until I get into it. I keep clicking until I get into it, and then once I get that, I'll Ctrl C to copy, and then come into come to my app and drop it. So I'll just click on left align and top to make sure it's aligned to the center. So that is one way to do that. The other way is I can just drag it myself. So this is longer than our artboard, so I just resize it to make sure it fits. I want this height to be 4. So yeah, that's the first thing. So we are starting with our home page. Now from our brief, we said it's going to go from the home page and down to the entire part of the floor. So let's have the home indicator also. Let's copy that. So left align, click on left align. It's not left aligning because it's not in our frame, so I'll click on the frame and then drop it inside. So left align, so now it's working, and then align to the bottom. So if you click on this, and we can hide it by clicking on the eyes, you'd see that our screen is coming together. So the next thing is to create the home navigation buttons. Those are the 3 options below, and then we'll just draw a rectangle, and I'll make the height 50 and then make it all white for now, and then I'll select that, and the navigation button that we had earlier, I'll come to this section here. So this is talking about the space between both of them, and I'll click 0 so that it brings them closer to each other. So as we can see now, there's no space between them, and then what I will just do is both of them as selected, I'll click on them and then I'll drag until the home indicator hits the bottom. So I mentioned earlier that I already have my colors selected. You see I have grouped them in some names that I would understand. So I know that this is the background I want to use, F9, F9, F9. So I won't be using white for my background, so like a little of white. So I'll select the frame and come here, tap F9, 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 and then also the home indicator F9, F9, F9. So that's one thing. Quick thing that we should probably do is so that we don't keep selecting colors, we should add our colors as stars, so that we can always just go there to select. So I would say create star. So I clicked on, so this is how you do it. You click on the 4 icons there, and then you come to plus and click on plus. I'll say primary color, so that means that's like our main brand color. and then I'll click on the orange, the same thing, and then call this secondary color. I think I'd like to call these tertiary, so I'll just write TT for tertiary, and then my typography, so I don't want to use all black, or I don't even want to use black at all, so I'll just come here, select these, I'll say type black. No, it's not black, but let's call that black 1. So I'll use 1 down to the last number, depending on how dark the color is, since I already aligned them. So that means this will be 2. So type black 2. So type means that's the colors, those are the colors I'll be using for my typography, and type black 3, and then we are going to have type black 4, and this is almost like a gray, and then you can name yours anyhow you like, it's all up to you. So I'll call this background. You can either write BG or background, so I'll just do BG, and I need the whites, so you have 2 strokes here. So stroke 1, stroke gray 1, because we are going to have purple strokes also, I guess. Then we'll add this one also, stroke gray 2, and then so we have the accent colors. So I'll say purple accents. So the accents are like assistant colors, or like different shades of our colors, either primary or secondary color, and sometimes they can just be other colors that we use in the system or in the software generally. And then accent, orange accents. So that's just like a rough, that's just a rough part of it. So let's go back to our design right now. We should probably do the same thing for tests, or maybe not, because I'm not yet sure about the sizes I want to use. I haven't made up my mind. So let's just see, then by the time I make up my mind I can add tests. So if I just click outside, like click on this black area, I can see all our stars here, color stars, all listed. And say if I draw a rectangle here, if I want to use any of those colors, instead of going back to use my eyedropper to select that color, I can, or type in the color again, all I have to just do is click on this tile, and then I'll sit here, so I can select any color, and that is going to be the color, as simple as that. So that saves us some time. So let's start. So I would say, okay, we have our nav here. We're going to create a little shadow so that we can see things when they are going under the nav. So to create shadow, what we'll do is click on plus under effects. So the y-axis is like coming from the top down, that's the y-axis, while the x is from your left to your right. So for the y, currently now, if you look at it, you see that our shadow is below. That is like when we have it at 4, so that means, so that's because it's positive. But we have a minus to it, you see it goes up. So I would probably say like -2. Let's look at that. I don't want an X. I'm fine with that. And then for the shadow, we can probably use one of our grays. So I'm using D9, 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 D9. Let's reduce it a bit. Let's bump this to like -4. Let's see what we have there. Spread, I'll probably do like 2 for my spread. Let's see, I think 1 is fine. Then for my blur, I'll probably do 8. So I think I'm fine with that. Or I can increase this gray to like 70. So it's just to make it soft. I want to make it even softer, so let's try 60. I think 50 is fine, probably between 50 and 40. So all of this is depending on you. It's not as if like we have a rule on you, depending on the style you are going with. So style, that's like the creative direction for the app. Some apps would have really huge shadows, while some would have okay, so even something that we can do is, instead of using a gray, we can actually pick our purple, so that our shadow would just be like a gray based off the purple. And then so I'll change to HSB, and then I can come here until I have like a light variation of it. I think I'm fine with that. Then I'll reduce the opacity to 50 that we had initially. So instead of a gray or a black, we have that now. So it's just a little bit obvious, so I'll drop the percentage down to like 40. I want it to be soft. That's the direction I'm going with. So so it depends on you what direction you choose to go with. My test, I would say near you. So that means like salons near you. This is currently 32. Let's try 28. I think I'm fine with 28. I'll turn my layout back on. So select my frame, then I'll select my layout. So I'll bring it to the edge here to make sure it lines up. What's happening? Okay, I'll select the entire frame. So yeah, so now it lines up, and we have just, if you press Alt, you see the space between objects. So we have 16 here. The font I'm using is called Inter, and then it's set to bold, and then 28 pixel. Before that, I think I want to insert a search box, so that any user coming can search the name of the salon. That's if they already know the name of the salon, or they want to search for a particular service. So say they just want to lock their hair, or they want to dye their hair, they can search for salons that offer the service, because not every salon are going to offer the same service. So I'll make the height 36, and then to round it, let me just turn this off so that we can see what's going on. So I'll select it one more time. So to round it, to make it round, I'll just enter 12, and then I'll give it a spacing of 14 pixel away from the maybe 14 to 16 away from the top. To do that, I can either drag it until they are close to each other, or I use my up button, that's the up button on my keyboard, to move it. That's one way. Another way is if you wanted to move like in the increment of 10, because when you're using just your arrow, it is moving just in the increment of 1 1 1 1. But if you want it to move faster, you can just hold on shift and press the up arrow. It's going to move it in the increment of 10. But the fastest way is, which I've shown earlier, is you click on that and then you click on the bar or the top where that houses your time, and then we come here and then we are going to enter the figure, the distance we want between both of them. So yeah, I'm going to enter 16. So I don't want this to be gray, just like what we did earlier. I'll just make this, let's see if we use our accent. No, I don't want to use our accent for this. So I'll just select our purple, and then I can reduce I'll make it gray a bit. So not sure if I'm satisfied with that. Let me zoom in, and I want it to be a bit grayish, but then also at the same time still have that feel of purple in it. So it's almost blending into the background. Yep. So what I'm doing is just to increase the values after the first one, that is my saturation and my brightness. So the first one here is my saturation, and then brightness. So which is almost the same as I can almost just go in here and move my mouse to say I'll select this. So let's just go with okay, let me just find a color to pick. Yeah, so then we need our icons. I already installed the plugin here. You just come up here and then you go to plugins tab. You can search for the name. It's called material symbols, and so if you search for material symbols, you see it's by Google, and then once you see it, then you click on run. So it's going to run and launch the, so while it's running, okay, it's here. So we're going to enter the name of the icon we want. So search. So I want to use this. So parameters I don't want it to be full, so you can just play with your parameters here. That is like however you want it to be, but for me I'm fine with 400. Grade, dark theme, emphasis, just check everything. But I'm fine with normal. Optical size, I want it to be 24, or no, I want it to be 20 actually, and then no fill. So I'll just click on this, and then it has dropped it there. So I can bring this. I'll just hide this for now because we still need it. Let me just close it. So we'll just bring this here. I'll make it 20 away from the edge, and then I'll center align it. So to center align it, let me just go back. I'll select the first one, that's the icon, and then the background, and then come up here and say align vertical center. So that makes it align to the bottom. So to confirm that, what we have here is, you see it's to the top, it's to the bottom, and then I want to change the color to be the color, primary color, which is the purple. So you can see I didn't have to type in the color again or go to pick it from where I have my colors. So that worked straight up, and then I can type search. So I'll make this 13 regular, and then let me make this 11. Then come here, pick one of my blacks, one that would blend in well. I think 13 is fine. Let's say black 5. Yeah, black 5. So I want to use this color again because this is almost showing like this active. So I'd prefer that this icon changes color when the user clicks into that place to search. So I'll change the color to one of our grays. Also, it can probably be the same gray, but maybe I can make it bump this one up a bit so that it's more obvious compared to the tests. And then I'll make sure that it is 8 pixels away. So that is, the test is 8 pixels away from it. Let me first align the test to the middle. It's already in the middle. Then I select the tests and the icon. Select the test and the icon. Okay, our icon was outside our frame. Select the test and the icon, and then come here and say 8 pixels away. So let's zoom out a bit. Our app is coming together, and then okay, so near you, the next thing will be pictures of salons. I'll give this like a spacing of, let's see what 32 would look like. I think 32 is too much. I think 24 is fine. And then would have the images of our salon. So R for our rectangle. So I wanted to have like a couple of salons showing. So I'm going to make the height, let's see, 240. Instead of 240, let's make this 200. Okay. And then I'll make it 16 pixel away. Make sure it's also aligned to the left. You can turn on your grid just to check everything again, and then I'll turn it off. Also, you can change the color of your grid if you think that color is obstructing you. You can change the color, like say pick maybe like a blue. Let me just bring this out here so that you can see what's going on. So yeah, you can change your colors here. So but for now I'll just turn it off again, and then I know I want to round the corners to be 12. So I'm going to increase the spacing actually to make it 24. Let's see, things are bound to change, and then maybe I'll return this back to 240, and then the next one, make this 24 pixels away. So yeah, I think that's fine. So it's going to be something like that. Anyways, let's quickly fill this up. So we would like to put in an image of a salon. So we have a tool that would help us to do that. One app to use would be this, and it's called Unsplash. One app you can use is called Unsplash, and then you just search for Unsplash and tell it to run, and then you search for salon. Or you can go to Google and search for salons, and then you can download and bring it in. But the faster route to go is just to search here in Unsplash. You select your rectangle, and then you can click on let's find an interesting image. Okay, let me just go with this, and then once you click on it, you see that it inserts it here, and then let's call this Delphina. So what size do we want to make that to be? Let's try this 17. And then make sure it is aligned to the left. Okay, so Delphina, we need our stars. We'll go for our material symbols, run it, and just search stars. Or star, so that's like we use our written star. So it's there, we can't see it now, so all we have to just do is just drag it down here, and then give it a fill. Come here to give it a fill, and I'll just give it yellow. I'll slide this down to around where we have our yellow. Okay, so we have a stroke type of we'll come back to this place and say fill on. So yeah, so this has given it a fill, and now we can change the color to the yellow that we want to use. So I'll be using FFA 800 for that, and then I'll just duplicate this text to say maybe 4.5, and then I'll change it from bold to regular. Let me decrease the size also. Let me look at how that looks like. Let me make it 14. We might just leave it at 16. Or better still, let's do it this way. Delphina should be, let's see what 22 looks like. Okay, we can just leave it at 17, and then this we can make this 13. Reduce the size of our star also to 20. feel the rating is supposed not to be that much. It's a little bit distracting. And then align everything. So center align everything, and then make sure it's 12 away. Probably another thing we want to indicate is how close the restaurant is. So I'll draw a rectangle. And then make it all. I'll just enter 100 to make it fully rounded, and then I'll make this our accent purple. Make sure it's lined up in the middle. It's a bit far off, or you can even actually bring it in here. And then so let me type, say, 1.2 kilometer. So that's to indicate how near it is to our user. Now bring this in here and then select our main purple. That doesn't look good. So quick one, I'll just break it by pressing on that and then go for a deeper variation of our purple so it pops out. Or better still, we can go that way, or we just choose to use, okay, let's try to pick a color that fits into it. Now the thing I want to do is to make it bold. Just make this 14 away. So we can leave it that way, or we can decide to probably bring it here and see it looks like, but that means like we'd have to bring this down a little bit more. That's one way we can go about it. There's definitely like countless ways that you can make a design. Another way is to do this, and then I can probably select this too. What sizes are cheap? Okay, I think 24 is fine. And then I can bring this down here. Make sure it's aligned to these two. Select these two and group them. So now I don't even want to make this that deep, so I would even go for a more accent version of this purple. Yeah, like there's a more tinted shade of it, and then maybe instead of bold use semi-bold. Let's try 12 for this. I said semi-bold. 11, what does that look like? Okay, since we are going down, so let me quickly introduce us to what we call auto layouts. Auto layouts helps us to build easily. I'll be talking about that much more in another video, but right now just follow what I do. Auto layout is over here, and the shortcut is Shift A, or you can just click on this plus icon here, and then so 17 here is the space to the left and right. As we can see, like we have a box, a pink box. The box is not added, it's just showing us the distance, and then the top and the bottom. Left and right, I think I'm okay with probably 12, and then top and bottom, let's make that 4. Let's go on the, nah, don't want that to be on there. So we can let me me see if I bring it into, yeah, what's it gonna look like? 12. Okay, so I think we are good with that. Is there anything else the user would probably want to see? I am not sure. Or if you can think of anything, you can add it to your design. I would select every one of them, and then okay, let's first do this. I'll select this and this and create an auto layout. Select this and this, create an auto layout. Watch out, something's going to happen. So you see where it's put this, that's our distance. I'll select the distance and then click on this plus here. It's called absolute position. That makes me place it wherever I want to, so I can move that away. And then now the same distance I gave it earlier. I'm gonna have to reduce the size of the star and the color of our rating. I think I'm fine with this. Probably another thing that we want our user to see is like a brief address. So say 13 Gowan Johnson Street. Streets. So pick our color here. Go Johnson Street, and yeah, we see I have more space for the test. Go on Johnson Street. Say like key face. So say I want my test to end there, I can just probably after streets. Let's put dots the remaining up. And make sure it's aligned to the left. Select these two and make them an auto layout. Shift A, click this and Shift A it also. So that's the entire group, so I can just duplicate them by holding Alt and then dragging. And I want this to be 24 pixels away. So this is currently not in our frame. We have to bring it into our frame. We'll just go here and then drag it into the iPhone 13 frame. Then select both and say, let me see what 24 is like. We can do 16. I think 24 is fine. And then we can select this also and give it a different image. Run on splash. Go and then bring this image here. So we have that image. Another session might be called most visited, so just select all of these and duplicate. So I can call this most visited, so that is like the ones other users visit the most. One thing we quickly want to do is to make sure that our home navigation and our bottom nav are at the top, like at the very top, so that nothing is obstructing it. I want to give our home navigation a fill of white so that we can see what's going on there. So now I think this 24 is too much. Let's look at 16. I think 16 is fine. So I'll just select all of these and make sure that this is also 16. So most visited. Then so that means these images that we have will be scrollable, you know, just like other softwares that you have on your phone. So off white, not white. And then but then we don't want our user to be scrolling endlessly, so what I'll do is just to have a small test that says see all, and that means like they can see a list of all the salons near them in another page. So make this 13. Now make it regular, or probably let me use medium. I'm going to use my primary purple for that. Let's try bold, because it's a very small test. I think bold is just fine. Could use semi bold or whatever, but I think I'm fine with semi bold. And then align it to the right hand here to make sure it's 16 pixels away from the edge. It isn't yet, so make sure it lines up. I can just adjust it using my buttons. So that's a left and right button, and then I'll select this two and make sure that it's aligned vertically. It is, and then I'll duplicate this by dragging it down. So once I hold shift and alt, shift would make it keep straight while dragging down, then alt is the one duplicating it. So it's 16, and then select this and make sure it is aligned. Yeah, so it is all aligned. Let's quickly create our buttons for our home page. So we need our icons. Say we're going to have home page, the explore page, so that's like you can go and search for more, and then maybe user profile. So the user profile, they can see history of their former bookings, they can lay complaints, they can make edits to their profile, like payments, top up their account and all of that. So I just search for home here. So I'm looking for a nice home icon I can use. Go to the Figma community, or if you search online, you can go to websites like Noun Projects. Let's just quickly visit that. So Noun Projects, now not now. So Noun Project. So it's the nounprojects.com, and then you can search for home. You see several icons that you can download, and then you bring in and then you can just search for free icon packs for Figma, and you see a ton of results that you can pick, some directly into the Figma community, and probably some will be on different websites. But for this tutorial, we'll just be picking one of these. Let's just quickly look for one here. Let's pick this. It's outside our frame again. I'll bring it in to make sure it's inside the frame. So I'll bring it inside the frame. For these two, I'll select them and I'll say fixed position. So what that means is that they will always be at the top and nothing comes above them, like when you're scrolling. I can't see my home icon again, so let me just quickly get the icon. So I know I need home. I need user profile. Home. Let me see, profile. Okay, so there's the profile icon, and then also I think it switched it up because that was still selected. I'm search for home again. Okay, then I will deselect it, and then search. I already have search again there, but I just want to pick one to be that size. Yeah, so we have all of that. I'll select 3 of them and Control X to cut, and then I would come and drop it inside the frame. Yep, so now I can just drag them down here. So what's happening is that they're coming into this auto layout. I'll lock the auto layout. So to lock your layers, you just select the layers that you want to lock and click on the padlock beside it. And then now I can drag them and nothing would happen anymore. Yep. So now we're going to separate them. Search would be in the middle, and then would have home would be the first, and then profile far away. You can add any other menu, like maybe bookings page or something. So type home, make this 11, make this 11. Then we have different styles that we can use. I choose to go through this route. And so since this is our active page, I would make it be our primary color. So I think for the home I want it to be a fill because it is currently active. So I'll go back here. I've selected it, search for home again. Okay, so now I'll say a fill. So it makes it a fill, and then I can give it primary color. This one, and then give this also our primary color. And then I'll select both of them and make sure that they are aligned to the center of this place. Okay, that's done. I'll borrow this, Ctrl C and then Ctrl V outside, drag it down and turn this to search. I'll change the color because this is not active. I'll change it to 4 same thing with this. That would be our 4 also, and then profile also would be 4. That's black 4. The color code for black 4 is 535763, and then I make sure that they are both aligned to the center, and then yeah, and this is profile. Same thing, make sure it is primary, our test 4, not primary. And then make sure it's aligned to the center horizontally, and then align to our navbar vertically. Yeah, just to check this. Okay, yeah, all aligned. So let's say so I don't want this, because we don't have like a lot of icons, I don't want this to just be at the edge. I would gauge it and let it be somewhere around there, and that's so I'll select 3 of them, and I'll distribute the space horizontally so that the search falls in between them perfectly. So now you see it moves, and then we have our page ready. Yeah, so next thing would be the let's quickly change the images here. So since I locked them, I have to unlock them to be able to do that. So on splash, salon, next page we'll be having will be the salons page. So that's after the user clicks on the salon. So let's say they click on the first one. Let's quickly change the name of this. We'll just call this Star Blaze. I don't know why I picked that name, but yeah. Our address, say 15 Oxford Street, yada yada yada. So we won't be needing this. I won't be needing these. Straight up, what we want is we want the image of our salon. So you can decide to make this full width, and I want the spacing to be 0. So I'm using 320 and then 375. If you like, you can make it again align like until we have like that 16 pixel. Where is that? Let me turn on my grid so I can see that. So that totally depends on you. So but that might mean you have to give it some space and maybe round it, you know. But so the style I want to go with is just to have it filled up. So since we are selecting the first salon, we have to look for that picture again, and okay, yeah, here's it. So select our rectangle and we have that field. I'll just copy these details again and just drop it here. So I'll just quickly do is so I'll come here and change this from up to fixed width so that I can expand it. So I'll just go in here and tell this to, so I'm clicking on the text and I'll tell it to fill container, and then I'll click on the main frame. I'll send them also and say fill container, so that way it pushes this to the edge here. And now we can complete the streets because we have like a longer view. Streets Lekki, phase 1. Add that, and then next would be about us, so that is some text about them. 17. Then I'll select the second block for that. That's type block 2. Well, let me use 15 for this. Regular, can use semi-bold for this. Make sure the spacing to this is, let's see what 32 give us. I don't want to make it too far because it's information relating to them, so maybe 24, or let's see 16. Okay, let's use 24, and maybe this should be medium instead. And then we need contents now. Content. For that we have what we call content reel. Yeah, I'll just write rubbish here, and then yep. What I will change here is make this regular, and then the body text 17. So we talked about auto heights earlier on, so we can just use auto height to work here, and I'll just tell it to bring this here. So there's something we call line height. Line height is the space between the text above and then the text that follows it. So I would say the line height should be 150%. Let's try 150% of the size of the text. That is 150% of 15. That is not looking bad. And then I would change the color of the text. So okay, type 3 isn't bad also. Let's look at type 4. Type 4 is okay. Then just 8. Then maybe instead of 15 I can make the body 13. So as 50% of 13, and then I'll make this 8. Instead of medium, I can make it semi-bold. Let's see what it would look like if we move it further. That's 32. Okay. So just because I don't want to have an orphan test, so that's what we call like a test that is on its own. I'm just going to reduce the width of this so that another test joins it below. Do I want to use 32? Let's try 24. And 4 looks too close, so yeah, I'll just go back to 32. Yeah, so we have 32 now. I'll create this as an auto layout. This is already an auto. Oh, okay, I removed it. Like if phase 1, okay, auto layout, and then this also auto layout. One thing I probably want is to make sure that the at the back end, that's the Salons app. The Salons app, they have the ability to upload multiple images, so that means the viewer can also view multiple images. I'll just draw a circle. Say let's try 8 by 8. When you're drawing the circle, if you hold shift, it's going to make sure it is a full circle and not a sphere. So this is active, and then we would have the non-active ones. Let me look for one of our gray. I'm fine with that stroke gray. So I'll just make sure that's tidy it up and make the space all 4. Then shift A to create an auto layout, and then align it to the center of the page. Can make this like, yeah, like maybe 12 or 14. Let's zoom out and see what we have there. Okay, maybe 16. So I really thought I was going to like the image the way we have it, but I am not, so I'll change my style, and instead I'll just make it aligned to the grid instead. Oops. Yeah, make sure it aligns to the grid instead. So we have 16 here. Give it another 16, and then round the corners, so like 12. Then this will be like 24. So we forgot our body here. We're going to bring it in and then just drop it there. Zoom in. Then the other section that would have would be, so I just Ctrl C, Ctrl V. It's going to create a duplicate. Would be called services. So right now we won't be needing our bottom nav. So what I'll just do is I'm going to hide here. including our profile, so we won't be needing that. And then won't need this also. What we'll be needing would be circles, so or to draw a circle, or shift down. I'll probably just, let's try, I want to make them smaller, 48. I feel 48 is actually small. Our space here is what, 8. I think 16 is actually fine for these. Let's try 64. So that means we have to increase the height of our frame, or artboard as it might be called, so as to accommodate more. We can always bring it back. Just create a couple of them, say maybe 4 of them on each page. Let's have one here. And then I'll tidy everything up. Yeah, so so this is also be scrollable, so basically like we can have one more here coming, but that might mean that we are going to decrease the space so that it can accommodate that, but for now I just want to say they're limited to just 4 services. So, and then we can use some of our accent colors that I thought I added them already. So this is why you should add your accent colors. So I just copy them and bring them closer to this place. Which ones do I want to use? So let's say these, like these, like this, and then maybe let's go for green, or maybe not. So we need icons to depict the service they offer. So I have another plugin for icons. I'll just use that. That is called Iconify. For color, we'll use our we'll just use our type of black here. So another service would be spa, and I'll just go ahead and add every other one. So what I'll just do is to increase the size here so that they are more visible. I'm gonna add all the icons. So we have manicure, pedicure, skincare, treatment, let's say spa, and let's say we're referring to just massage. For the spa, and then we can copy these, come down here, and then there. You can see that because this is obstructing it, and I'll make this our black. Instead of bold, I'll make it semi-bold. Spa, nails, and skincare. Select this, all of these, and make sure that they're just like 8 pixels away. Let me see, 12. Yeah, 12 is perfect. Yeah, just keep to our grid. That's the, since we have been using 8 for our spacing, I'll just either leave it as 8 or move it to 16. Excuse me, that's so I'll quickly add our home indicator. So that is that, and then we can say have a button that says book now. So we're going to draw a button. Okay, no, before the button, I want to have something else. So I'll say select service, so it's not just services. Select service, select a service. So this will just be like a map showing how to get there. There are map plugins. Let me see, just click search map. So for the map, I used a plugin called Map SQL. So here's it. So run it, and then once you're done, you click on create map, you select a rectangle, and then we have a map. So this is just to like talk about our address again, and I'll just bring this rectangle, borrow this rectangle in here. I'll make this full white, and then this so around the edges, but just the top edges. So that's 12. So this icon is changing to indicate what it is, and then for this also around just the 2 bottoms, and now not the bottom, I'll just leave the top out and then reduce the size. You can just copy this address again and then come and drop it here. I'll create a shadow for this, then click on effects, drop shadow. I'll copy that same code here, D6 DC F3, 40%, 4 and 8. So this time we're not doing minus, we are doing plus. So it did actually copy, but it was just the width it copied and not the full property. And then we'll just have like an indicator showing where they are located. Can use purple here, and then we'll have just like a location icon inside. So I duplicated the circle so that I can have the lighter one here, and what I'll just do is reduce the opacity of this one, so say maybe to like 60. I'll probably do the same thing with this also, so like 60. Line them all up in their centers, both vertically and horizontally. Include this dude here also. Rather I would invert it. The bigger one should be light, that's this, and then the smaller one should be the darker one. So that's our accents here, then I'll reduce the opacity to 60, and the opacity of this one also. I can increase this to like 80, let's see. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, so that works for me. I'll group everything, and then make sure it's just like 32 pixels away, or rather, because this is flat out, not that important, and then I'll just say 48. Let's make this 48. And then I'll just click on our frame, and then okay, so let me bring our home indicator back right now. So that's 34, only like 34 pixels away. So 59, so that will be minus 25. So let's preview what we have done so far. So we'll click on the frame, and then we'll click on the play button here. So Figma also has an application called Figma Mirror that you can download on your phone to preview. So let me set the mobile tab that will be previewing here, and I'll come to prototype, say show prototype settings, device. I would say iPhone 13 mini. You can set the color as you like. Let's see what blue looks like. Yeah, I think I'm fine with pink. Background, I want to make the background a little bit lighter. Or probably lighter. Yep. So then we can go back here. So we can see this is what we have done so far. Can come here to, so that you view, I'll say fits to screen. Say fits to screen. So this is what it gives us. This is our home page, and then this is our, so that means our map is probably outside the frame. Yes, I am right. Let's bring that back. Just select every one of them. That's group. Ctrl X to cut it, select our frame, and then Ctrl V to paste. And then we can go back and preview it. So this is one of the reasons why I should preview. You'd know how good your design is coming. I currently don't like the space here. I think it's too far. Can reduce the space. I'll just bring it down to, let's say 36. Otherwise I'll just try 32. I think this isn't bad. I'm probably satisfied with that. So we have these two. So this will be the end of the part one. Part two will be finishing up. We still have a couple of screens that we have to do, and we'll cover everything up in part two. Part one I had to take this long because of the intro, and I had to break things down a little bit to be a little bit beginner friendly. I know this isn't so beginner friendly because some beginners don't know very much about the tools. We'll be having tutorials later that would cover the tools entirely, that is totally dedicated to beginners. So well, part 2 would I'll make sure we finish up the entire screens. So we're going to have the flow from where you select, after you select the service, where you create your time and date, and then the user sees the tabs available, and then they can confirm their booking. So till then, practice. And if you have subscribed to my newsletter, you'd be getting an email, and if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe in the link will be in the description. So once you get an email, you can reply to that email once you practice, for me to review whatever you have done. Once you do your design, you can click on here to share, and then when you share, you can just copy the link and just send email to me. I'll gladly take time to review and get back to you via email. So yeah, this is only meant for those that are subscribed to the channels and subscribed to the newsletters. Yeah, so please do subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you'll be sent a notification when the next video where we complete this flow, and we're going to prototype it with micro interactions. So that is basically how things are going to move, and it's going to look realistic, like when a user is clicking on them. So subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my newsletter, turn on your notification bell, and practice. You can send me the link once you subscribe, and I would review it. Thank you for watching. If you want to watch more, click here to watch my latest video. Thank you once again. Subscribe and share with your friends.